Recently, I learned that some people believe that the 3.8 story quest did not actually happen. I mean to say that they believe it was an abandoned script. While I absolutely understand the confusion with 3.8, it was an underwhelming patch in the middle of disappointing delays. I hope that in today's video, I'll help you understand how 3.8 story was all real, why our memories were removed, what happened with Gopher Wood and Firefly, and why the Dahlia was important. So yes, you heard right, the 3.8 story was actually real. What the Dahlia took us through wasn't an abandoned script or alternative timeline. Trailblazer had their memories removed by the Dahlia at the behest of Silverwolf. Elio foresaw Trailblazer's life coming to an end if they had the memories they did when they went to Amphorius. So you can see why this patch was placed after Amphorius. We had memories that would have compromised our time on Amphorius and led to one of the bad endings shown in the Exotale trailer. This all goes back to the theory of the 4 apocalypses. This is the core of why Trailblazer's memories were removed. The theory of the 4 apocalypses is a prophecy said to be from Terminus and circulated by the Omen Vanguards. This theory was that 4 paths would push the cosmos to an end of finality. You can kind of think of them as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse referenced in the Bible. And the 4 paths are destruction, harmony, nihility, and a vacant 4th path. This path could pretty much be anyone at this point. Elio foresaw remembrance becoming that 4th path if the Trailblazer took the memories they had from Penacony to Amphorius. Again, we see the Stellaron hunters discuss this possible ending in the Exotale myth trailer. Now to discuss what happened with Firefly and Gopher Wood. This is a bit complicated, so I'm going to try to explain it as simply as I can. Essentially, Gopher Wood was trying to restore Enna the Order, who had been absorbed by the Harmony, to power again as an Aeon. The best way to get an Aeon back from being absorbed is to have people turn to that path in a great time of need. He decided to use the fear and chaos that the propagation brought to Penacony. He did this through tricking Firefly to wish on the Stellaron, bringing her PTSD from the swarm disaster with her, with the hope that when the people saw the propagation, they would call out to Enna the Order for order. Then we find out Gopher Wood split his consciousness into the dreamscape through divine laws, and that's a bit complex, which I can go over that in another video if you're interested, but just for brevity's sake. The dreamscape was basically Gopher Wood's body. The important part here is that the propagation shenanigans plus her absorbing a whole freaking Stellaron caused Firefly's entropy loss syndrome to escalate in the dream world, thus prompting her death. However, utilizing the powers of finality, Trailblazer rewound time and gave Firefly the fireworks she dreamed of in the dreamscape. The Dahlia did not just restore our memories. She also took all the naught, which was the deep gash Acheron's Nihility Blade left in Penacony's dreamscape, upon herself, and now had a grievous wound. The Nihility tainting the dreamscape had to be removed, or the dreamscape would eventually fall into Nihility. Nihility is like the black tide in Amphorius. Once it shows up somewhere, it spreads and spreads rapidly, consuming everything in its path. So to save the dreamscape and all the people in Penacony, Constance absorbed the tainted corruption herself, leaving her badly wounded. Constance is one of my favorite characters because she is so interesting in her motivations and her actions, but her doing this was a huge sacrifice, as discussed by Black Swan and Acheron. all in all, 3.8 was real and happened to Trailblazer. They just forgot a bit. And while we were dealing with Sunday, Firefly was dealing with Gopher Wood and the propagation. While I won't say 3.8 was my favorite story update, it still provided a lot of good lore and gave us the information that Stellarons were created from the Harmony, which I think will be very important in coming patches. Okay, so that was a lot to go over. I tried to do it as simply as possible. Honkai Star Rail really loves flowery language, and I think a lot can get lost in translation as well. I hope you found this video helpful, and if there's anything else you'd like me to go over, anything you think I missed or am misunderstanding, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll do my best to go over anything that you suggest. As always, I'm Belle. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.